could just like open it up when we start the green room, Devin, right? Like that was
I
that
think
little
he said
3 minute
something.
clip there.
Yeah, well, I think he said something about he's had communication with over 4,000 realtor meetings. So I mean, that alone right there, like that's a mic drop moment.
Yeah, let's yeah. Matt, go ahead and introduce yourself, man. Let's get started. And man, I wanna jump into the 4,000 realtor meetings. I don't know that I could say that.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So my name's Matt. The marketing director at Treadstone Mortgage. We're a part of Neighborhood Loans, national lender, and I kind of have the weirdest job in the world. So when I first started back in 2011, we were in the same coaching program as you were, Scott, and that's how I met you.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think we were at the same company back in the day.
Yeah.
And my boss came to me and said, like, hey, I want you to do, internet marketing. And I said, cool. So, did all the title tags, meta descriptions, early days of SEO. And I started getting some online leads rolling in, and that was fantastic. And then I said, hey, this kind of only takes like 15 hours a week. Like, what else do you want me to do? He's like, well, there are these people called realtors. And I'm like 22, so I have no idea what the hell a realtor is, or to be honest, a mortgage.
That's awesome.
And he goes, if you can get these people to like us, they will send us business and we will make a lot of money on it. And so I said, well, how do I do that? And he goes, well, why don't you just tell them the SEO stuff you're doing for us? If they get leads, they'll be happy. They like money, and then they'll send us that business. And so I said, okay, cool. So I started calling brokerage offices and saying, hey, I'm young, you're old. I didn't actually say that because that wouldn't go over well, but that was the subtext. I said, I would love to talk about internet marketing. If you guys want help with social media, website stuff, we can do it. So that was it. My third day on the job, I got a meeting at a Keller Williams office and taught 20 agents about social media and a little bit of SEO. Most of them were on their phones, not listening to me, but that didn't faze me at all. And we got 3 one-on-one meetings after that for the following week, and we closed 2 deals within 2 months. So
Whoa.
since then, I said, this is really what I like to focus on because I like public speaking. I like being around people. So since then, fast forward 15 years, there have been a lot of meetings every week, and some of them are bigger meetings and some of them are smaller meetings, but it's just a numbers game. And I think every lender and every salesperson listening to this call just needs to remember it's just a numbers game. The more big nets you cast, the more small meetings you can have, the more total deals you can get. And that's really all I track. And regardless of how the industry changes, that's how I approach sales.
Wow. So are you still doing that to this day? Like
Oh
you
yeah,
come in
I have
and
3 tomorrow.
okay, you gotta, so every week, once a week?
So I have 3. No, it's very organic. So I have 3 realtor meetings set for tomorrow. I have 2 today. I would say I don't force it as much anymore. Thankfully, I'm in a spot now where I get more inbound requests for meetings. So now many of the real estate brokers in town, whenever they get a new agent or an agent moves to their brokerage, they will say, you got to go talk to Matt. Matt will give you kind of like the lowdown on marketing in Grand Rapids, and we'll do that meeting. And then I set them up with one of our lenders for a 15-minute postscript, either before or after that meeting, to get them
Wow.
more in tune with our company, add them to the CRM, set them on a follow-up campaign, and we kind of go from there.
Wow. So you just teach, you don't actually play the mortgage piece. You bring a lender in for
Yeah.
that piece. But at
I've never, yeah,
first
I've
you were doing
never,
the
I've
lender
never
piece.
closed a loan.
Okay.
Never
Okay.
closed a loan. Don't plan to. So for our existing lenders who already work with us, they have their realtor relationships. Anytime one of their realtors is like, Scott, baby, I love you. I just don't have any business right now. I'm slow. I'm sure we've all heard that 1,000 times. That's when the lender then says, dude, you got to talk to my friend Matt. He has 1,000 ideas.
Oh,
I will give them ideas for their specific situation. So if they just moved here, they don't know anyone, I go to this playbook. And if
gotcha.
they've lived here for 30 years and they're involved in every charity, we go to this playbook. And if they're an introvert who has no social skills, we go to this playbook. So we do
Interesting.
those one-on-ones for our existing realtors, and then we get the referrals from brokerages and through events and through a lot of fun stuff in town, to new agents that we don't know yet.
So, like, what's the one thing that is helping the agents you meet with move the needle, or is it all over
Yeah.
the board, or is there like 1 or 2 things that you mainly lean on?
Yeah, so I'll give you one that's there's like 3 or 4 that work every time and for any personality type. But I'll give you the one overall concept that's working in this market in 2025. So where we're at right now, you have Florida that has a lot of inventory, and then you have every other area in the world that has like no inventory. So the thing that's working right now for agents, and for lenders also, is basically to create your own opportunities for clients and market those versus doing what everybody else does. What everybody else does is they say, hey, Scott, if you ever need a great realtor or lender, I'm here for you. Just remember me the next time you want to buy or sell. Dude, that's weak sauce. It's not very effective. Now, I will say it is more effective than doing nothing. So if that's your only thing, keep doing that. What I like to say is we came up with this strategy. It's called the 3x3 strategy. And
Okay.
it's stupidly simple. I can send a guide out after the show that anyone can check out. But you basically educate realtors, and a lender can do this too, by the way. If a lender is hungry, they can do the same thing. You choose 3 properties every single day that are in your market that have been on the market for 10 days or more. You try to choose 3 different price points and honestly try to pick houses that are cool. And you then find 3 people within your database to text, call, or email each property to. And it's not, hey, Scott, wanted to send you this property. It's a little bit deeper than that. So on my little one-sheeter, I have 10 reasons that I might send someone a property. Reason number 1, Scott, wanted to send you this. I know you're not looking for a house right now, man, but I know when you and your wife were looking, you were looking for 3 beds, 2 baths close to the school. This just popped up. Again, I know you're happy, but I had to send it to you. It made me think of you. Or Scott, had to send you this property. I know you're not looking right now, but when you were looking for ultra modern. Nothing was on the market. These don't pop up very often. Wanted to send this to you really quick. Or one of my favorite ones, dude, I call it the hero message. Hey, Scott, I cannot believe that homes in your neighborhood are going for triple what you paid. I am literally the best realtor ever. This one, 235 Main, just listed for 800. We bought yours for 300. Good work, dude. And it's kind of letting that one is a little bit less opportunistic. It's a little bit more self-congratulatory to basically let you know that I have my thumb on the pulse of the market and I know my shit. I know my numbers. I know my stuff. So that's the general gist of it. But let's break down the math. So 3 properties to 3 people a day. That's 9 a day. Now, I don't do mortgages, so my math sucks. But 9 a day times 5 is 45 outreaches per week, which multiplied by 4, assuming we're working a full month, that's like almost 200 outreaches a month. I can tell you not a single realtor you work with is doing 200 outreaches with opportunities per month. Those who do, if you do this with an agent and they don't get 2 deals 2 months from now, I will be absolutely flabbergasted.
I would be
It's
flabbergasted.
just math.
Yes, yes.
So that's
Wow.
probably my number one thing. Every agent I've worked with this on has gotten business from it.
So three a day, or you said 9 a day?
So it's 3 properties to 3 people a day. So each property you're sending to 3 different people. So it's 9
Okay.
a day.
Okay. So 9. Okay. Wow.
I mean, you can be overly aggressive. I had a brand new agent, dude's like 22. I don't know that anyone would trust him to buy a home yet, but he has hustle and he's doing 5 a day to 5 people, and he
Wow.
is absolutely killing it. He had his first listing last month, so I was super excited for that.
Wow. So he's doing 5. So 1 listing to 5 people 5 times.
Yep. No, 5 listings to 5 people per day, so 25 outreaches a day.
Wow.
And he's doing it mostly via text.
That, man.
By the way, works great with investment properties too.
Is this not a mic drop?
Yeah, this is kind of a mic drop. And I saw a question pop.
How
Someone
do you
asked,
know which property to send to whom? Are you sending
Yeah.
to people looking to buy a home? No. Yeah. Or
that's a great
for some
question.
reason. Yeah. Great question.
So I'm sure everyone on this call, we have a database and we have different categories in our database. So if I see a property that pops up, I'm either sending it out based on proximity to where their current home is, their current work is, or I'm sending it out based on some type of interest or investment. Those are my 4 criteria. So the example yesterday, one of the ones, worked with an agent and we were sending out, we have a huge like 30-court public pickleball facility in town. It's free. It's open to the community. And there's properties like a block away that are still like $250,000. They're great for investments. They're great for people that work downtown. They're great for retired people who want to play a lot of pickleball. And these houses are cheap. So she's a girl, realtor friend of mine. I play pickleball with. They said, you have to send this to everyone you know who plays pickleball to be like, you need to buy this either as an investment property or as a new primary for yourself. And that was her shtick with that property. So really the reasoning can be as creative as you want to get. You can also combine this with obviously the rich data that's in your CRM system. So Kendra Cook, I don't know if anyone here is familiar with her. She was a realtor coach for years. She advises all of her clients to do dream books, or she advises all of her realtors to do dream books for clients, where you basically write down, their hopes, dreams, aspirations, the Ford model. What would their dream home be if money were no object? And
Mm,
so then she has that information, and if one of those dream homes ever pops up, she sends it to them. And what she's going for is
dang.
that 1 in 100 who just sold their company, who just got a big raise, who just had a major life change, and she'll get 1 in 100 to bite on it. Now again, like we're not going for sending out 50 messages and getting 50 closings. We're going for sending out 50 messages and getting like 2 leads,
Yeah.
which is huge success in our business with the commissions that we can earn.
Yeah. This just blows. This is too easy. This is literally too easy. So what kind of what kind of conversation is there feedback from that? I mean, has any realtor said, man, I did 25 and wow, the responses are great, or like what, like,
Yeah. Usually, so because obviously you're calling clients and you're also calling leads who are actually looking.
okay, okay.
Obviously, on the leads who are actually looking, like you're not getting a new lead, but you're reinvigorating them on the home search by sending them something that they should be interested in.
Yeah.
And the reason I mentioned to pick properties that have been on the market for 10 days or more is so that it doesn't feel like a bait and switch, right? Like, of
Mm,
course, if you have an active buyer and a home pops up where they're already looking, you don't need to
send it that day.
necessarily
Yeah.
send that to them. Like, it should already be going to them.
Yeah.
So the real thing here is for those people that have been pre-approved for 6 months, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, you're sending them a property with a specific reason that it should be important to them versus just sending it to them as like a generic MLS list of 10 properties.
Mm.
That's weak. If all of your agents are doing, if that's all that your agents are doing, those are weak agents. I want to work with agents who are going to go out and find business for me.
Are you doing any, like, so it's, and somebody said, are you sending MLS, Zillow, Redfin? Like, how are they sending those?
Yeah, I do not necessarily advise the agents on how to send it. A lot of people
Okay.
have their own
Okay.
system, but I would say definitely send it in such a way that it's not, showing another agent's info on
Right.
it. So I
Right.
probably wouldn't do Zillow. But it all comes down to your relationship with them. Like for the hero call where I'm just saying, hey, dude, Steven, like I wanted to send this over to you. This is in your neighborhood. Like, congrats, like your house is obviously now worth way more. For that one, I wouldn't mind sending a Zillow link out because like they're loyal to me. Like, hopefully I know my relationship with them.
So Garrett, so this is Matt, and you might have got in late, but this is Matt teaching agents how to send to their database hot leads, buyers, past like stuff. So this isn't somebody sending to an agent. This is an agent sending it to someone to. Well, I mean, the big thing is it keeps you remind people who you are, what you do for a living. Like you said, keeps them knowing about that, you know what you're doing in the market. That's amazing. So
Yeah, and by the way, I kind of have to give a shout out to my realtor friend Ashley. She sold me a friggin' house by doing this.
okay.
So
All
my
right.
like, and obviously I'm an easy buy. I'm gullible. You could probably sell me anything. But I was sitting at work one day and my friend texted me and she texted me and says, "Hey, I know you and Steph are super into modern homes. You're a little bit bougie. Dude,
Ooh.
this home just came up. You got to come look at it." And I'm like, "Dude, no, we're good. Like, we're not buying a house. We're good." She's like, "I promise you, I'll buy you lunch afterwards. You're gonna love this house." And so
That's
we go.
aggressive.
I texted my wife. We were about to board a flight that night to, I think, go to Florida for Christmas. It was like December 22nd. All of a sudden, we're at this house, probably 100 grand over our budget at the time. This is like 2018, and this house was absolutely insane. It was like walking distance to like everything I do, all the best bars and restaurants. Had a rooftop deck with a hot tub and a big screen TV.
Oh
Had a
boy.
dog run underneath the porch. I don't even have a dog, but I was like, I'm gonna buy a dog for this house. We left that house and I put an offer in for 100,000 over asking price.
Oh, and it was 100 over. Jeez. Oh man,
Yeah.
Archie, man.
And
Oh,
well,
that's awesome.
unfortunately, the house was so cool that there were 30 other offers and we didn't get it.
Oh,
But she called me the next day and she goes, "Why don't we just build that in a better neighborhood?"
ooh,
And she
ooh.
got she got the sale. And
Wow.
I was like, "Why did you call me that day?" She goes, "Well, every day cool properties pop up on the internet and I want to call people and talk about those homes. That's so she wasn't like, hey, let's call 9 a day. She was just like, I'm a realtor. I like cool houses. I want to call people about the cool houses. That was how
Wow.
she described it. So there's a lot of ways to think about it, but I was like, if we put this in writing, we put some numbers behind it, I think I can guarantee some more success for people.
That's brilliant. So Jerry's asking, how do you use RETR do you have a minimum you guys go for when you use, like when you look up in RETR, what's your minimum of people that you go for to bring in
Yes.
and have a
Yeah,
meeting?
totally. So two different things, two different main ways we use RETR on the realtor side of things. And we've been on it for a while now. It's been a game changer for us. So number one, anytime a loan officer puts a realtor meeting in their calendar, they can CC an email address on it. And then that means that like they want a RETR report pulled, and their executive assistant will just add the RETR report from
Mm.
their RETR account to their calendar.
The track
Now,
record.
we just integrated with Jungo, so now that eliminates the need for that a little bit. Although for certain loan officers that are older that don't want to have to two-factor into Jungo or Salesforce, having it in their calendar is huge. Like we take that instant 24-month report and their executive assistant throws it right in their calendar, and it
Mm.
is awesome.
Bullets.
So we tell them to review it, an hour before the meeting. Some of them go through it with the realtor, and it's kind of like for the cockier realtors, like it's kind of they're like, oh my God, like how do you have all my information? Like
Uh,
they know the information's out there, but they haven't seen it done before in a lender meeting. So that's way number one. In terms of minimums, we are usually looking for people who are doing 4 or more buy sides.
mm.
I would have told you 2 years ago that we were looking for one buy side a month, but honestly, like in our
So
market, we're in Grand Rapids,
yeah,
Michigan.
yeah.
We're doing 130 to 200 loans a month. There were only 44 out of 4,500 realtors who averaged one buy side or more per month. Dude,
Wow.
it's like it,
Yeah,
and by the way, every market out there is similar, right? Like
yeah.
even if you're in Arizona, there's not a whole lot of agents who are doing more than one buy side a month on average.
A couple questions here. Man, this is good stuff. Yuanda's asking, you can use UWM's House Canary Home valuation tool? Is that something? I guess you leave that up to the agent. You don't really have that conversation of how the agents send it out. Most agents, if you're an agent, you have your own tool. You can send your information over the listing. So
Yeah.
yeah,
We have and I have used almost all of the systems over the last decade, but like we have HomeBot, we have a couple other systems that have valuation models built into them. Um, I think it's important for every lender and realtor to be doing some type of home valuations. But the 3x3 strategy was more about like active listings
mm,
rather than closed sales. Although for past clients, you can count that as a version of the same thing.
very cool. Garrett's asking, how do you maintain your database? Would you assume you don't reach out to the same? So one of the things, one of the questions I asked was, what's the number one thing? And this was the number one strategy. Is there like a number two? If like they're doing, I mean, this is powerful, but is there a number two?
Well, I mean, it depends on if we're talking about realtor stuff or lender stuff. On the lender side, most of us are piss poor at managing our CRM system. So my biggest piece of advice, and this obviously isn't possible for everyone depending on your technology stack, but every lead needs to start in the same place. Like you can't start some leads in your LOS system and other leads in your CRM system.
Mm,
The way we do it is every single lead starts in our CRM, and if it's a good one, we push it to our LOS. And then from the same thing, like all of our teams are working out of our CRM, not processing, but like our LO, LOA, team lead positions, marketing. We're working out of the CRM every day.
mm,
And when we need to push things, we're doing it from RETR to our CRM. We're doing it from our LOS to our CRM and vice versa. So we're in one place, and that way leads don't get missed. So
mm,
everyone is moving down the journey of what category they're in. So they're a lead, a cold lead, a pre-approved, in process, closed. They could be in our concierge program if they're pre-approved for a really long period of time and they're not really going anywhere. But then what we're able to do is we're able to run reports every day and filter how long someone's been in one of those, and we make sure, and we have different automations to ensure we're hitting a certain number of touches based on the stage that they're in. So I think that should answer Garrett's question a little bit.
yeah.
But when I'm looking to see like to make sure I'm not touching someone too much, if they're in the lead or buyer category and I know they're interested, I don't mind sending them one today and one on Friday. I'm probably not going to send them three days in a row unless they're that gung ho. But for like a closed client, I'm only going to send them a property if I think it's like seriously cool or relatable to them.
Mm.
Now this is another big one for lenders, and I've started to see this more and more, but I think I read like 24%. I make numbers up all the time, but it was between 20 and 30. 20 to 30% of single family and multifamily homes last year were sold to investors. And so I think what in
Wow.
your strategy is marketing to investors?
Yeah.
And if you have a CRM system with a log of all of your closed files, or you have RETR, you could easily pull your last couple of years worth of closings. Look for borrowers who bought expensive homes or who are making $250,000 a year. Put them in an investor group and then start using the 3x3 to market investment property opportunities to them.
Great
Like
idea.
it's an easy win. And there's people that know they can buy an investment property and are interested, and there's people that you need to get interested. And lenders that aren't doing that, I think, are missing out in this market.
You could do it. You could just by sending investment opportunities, and having that conversation. Like if you did 3 a day, do the 3x3 from a lender to your about investments. What'd you say? 20? What's that? What's a
I think
percentage?
it was over 20%. I want to say it was like
Wow.
22% of homes went to investors.
Wow.
And I believe that does not count. That does not count like house hackers. Like,
Mm.
the big trend right now is all your 20 to 35-year-olds buying the home, living in one room, renting the other rooms, or living in one unit, renting the other units. I mean,
Mm.
like they say that like there's no cash flow, you can't hit your 10 cap on a rental anymore. Well, if you're a 25-year-old and you have 3 friends with jobs, you can live for
Thank you.
free and make some money. Like people are
Absolutely.
doing that every single day in almost every market. I've seen people in New York doing it in the last month. I've seen
Wow.
California, expensive places, and in places where I live and in Florida, you can make good money on that.
Yeah. Great idea. Great idea. If there's any more questions for Matt on that, I was gonna, man, I want you to talk about this AI stuff.
Yeah.
That's pretty intriguing. I know the green room is like pretty interesting. Tell us what's going on there. Like what's this avatar or what is it
Yeah,
that?
for sure. So this isn't even me right now. I'm kidding. This is me. I'm real. This is real. This isn't faked. But in all seriousness, so I have been messing around, just trying to make sure that we don't get left behind, right? So I created an avatar of myself that is my actual face. It has my facial hair. It has my watch on, my office background, and it has a couple other backgrounds of places that I frequent. It has a couple outfit choices too. So I don't even have to worry about hair and makeup, by the way. Because I know, Scott, you wear a lot of makeup for these shows
Yeah,
to
yeah.
keep looking young. You haven't aged in
45 minutes,
20 years.
man. Takes me in the morning. Yeah.
So what I did was I loaded in 20 or so minutes of high quality. This is not high quality, by the way, because the sun is blasting on one side of my face. I loaded in 20 to 30 minutes of high quality HD video with great audio
Mm.
of myself talking. And throughout that script, I used a wide range of emotion. I used happy, excited, sad, important, educative stances. I tried to really vary it up. And during the video, it doesn't matter what you say. I said, now I'm going to tell you in an authoritative way why you as a real estate agent should have listened to me. And I did the whole thing. I slowed my pace down. I raised my pace up, all those things. And I let it process for about a day. And the software created an avatar of me that now I can type in my script or use ChatGPT to write my script. And
Wow.
I click render. And honestly, this is like dial-up internet, like back on like getting on AIM to talk to your friends. It's pretty freaking slow. Like it's not instantaneous. But I think I waited like half an hour and I got my video back. And
Wow.
so my preliminary findings on this is that it's 90% good.
Mm.
It was it was good enough to fool my mother, but it was not good enough to fool my wife.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my mom watched
Interesting.
it and she's like, "Oh, great job, Matt. Awesome. One more great marketing video." And my wife was like, "Dude, it sounds creepy. It sounds like it's a little bit off." She goes, "It's close. I wouldn't have known that was AI unless I knew that you were into AI. But she goes, your hands are a little like the choppy movements in your hands are
Mm,
like a little jittery. So I'm going back in this week to re-record it, and I'm not going to use hand movement
mm, mm,
because I just don't think
mm.
it can render that properly.
Interesting.
Also, my eye contact was like 1 inch off for my camera because I was
Oh,
looking at my computer screen and not at the webcam. And
mm,
so that messed it up a little bit. But the actual voice was really, really good.
huh.
So sorry, my mic dropped. So it was good. This is not ChatGPT. I'm using a software called HeyGen,
Mm, mm,
HeyGen.
mm,
I bought there's 2 or 3 plans on there. There's one super affordable plan if you just want to monkey around with it. And then there's like a $700 plan for the year.
mm.
That's what I chose because I'm all in on figuring out if this is a viable alley. And in the same way that I was with RETR, right? Right? Like I signed up for RETR. I'm like, I hope this is great, but like, I don't know. I'm gonna try everything and I'm gonna see what works.
Yeah.
And if it works and it saves me time and money, I'm gonna go. But here's what you can use HeyGen for with AI videos that isn't creepy at all, in theory. There's 10,000 people out there, people like you and me, who wanted a little bit of money, who licensed their likeness to the system,
Mm,
who now I can make videos of them talking.
mm.
And those ones are way better because nobody knows what they're supposed to sound like.
Yeah. Interesting.
So if I want to make a customer review or an explainer video, I
Mm,
can type in my script and I can have that in like 20 minutes.
mm,
So I think the days when here's where I see this going. I see the days where like I'm begging and pleading with my loan officers to do videos with me, and I'm begging and pleading for certain realtors to like record a certain video. The days of that might be over in about a year because
mm.
when I can say like, hey, do I have your permission, Scott, to like use your face today to make this video of you saying this in your voice? And you say,
Done.
yeah, man, that's fine. Just let me review it when you're done.
Wow.
Like that's a
Wow.
that's a game changer. And
One
like we
year.
talk about, I think this is going to change SEO. This is going to change a lot of other stuff because the content is going to get a little bit worse and less thought out. But it's going to get more prevalent. Like I could rock out 30 SEO videos in my area today.
I was gonna say if you can do one in 30 minutes, I mean you just type in the stuff and it's done, right? And then you can not only do you but other people, and now
Correct.
you got a arsenal of marketing videos.
Yeah, we had a client the other day. They left us an absolutely unbelievable review. And I was like, hey, would you mind recording us a video review that we can use on YouTube? And they were just like, no, not really comfortable with that, but you can share my review online everywhere. So I just took out their name, I put a fake name in, and I made an AI review of that client.
Whoa, that's so cool. That's
Now, if
amazing.
the CFPB is listening, if this is unethical, I don't know. Don't crucify me. We haven't shared it yet,
We
but
fired the CFP. Well, I didn't fire the CFP. Somebody else did, right?
yeah. So this is just kind of like what's out there. Of course, I saw someone mention ChatGPT in here. Like, yes, I am using ChatGPT also. I'm usually using ChatGPT more so to take my bullet point ideas and just like flesh it out a little bit. And the prompt, I'll give you guys this one as like a fun freebie. The prompt that has worked the best for me in ChatGPT, if I tell it to give me like 5 social media posts, I'll say after each response, please explain your reasoning and why you gave me this information.
Mm.
And I don't know why, but the process of AI having to explain itself to you, its master, automatically makes it give better responses. If I give it the same prompt with and without that extra one, the second one, the one where they have to explain it, is always better. It's like telling a kid in class to show their work.
That's cool.
Also, say thank you. Say this one. I don't know if there's a fact behind this, so I could be making this up, but it's funny. Say thank you to your AI. Like be polite to it.
I heard that too.
I've seen anecdotal evidence that AI performs better when you treat it nicer. And I heard a guy at a conference this week said that Microsoft Claude definitely responds better if you're nicer to it. But ChatGPT, I couldn't find any difference in response.
That I heard the same thing, man. So who knows, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna mess with it though. I will always just it's easier. Hey, question, Rick. Rick, are you still here?
No, I just want to jump on and thank Matt for coming on. Matt is incredible. harass. I've canceled my appointments today to come on and listen to him and steal his ideas. So thanks, Matt. And my
Thanks,
question is, Scott, like I was one of your first guests. Are you paying guests now? Because the quality has gotten so much better.
Man, well, that's going to cost you.
Yeah, I think Scott's gonna like take me to dinner somewhere really good, and I eat well, so that could cost him a lot more than a normal show appearance fee.
Let's go to Bob, man. Let's go to
Yeah.
Bob. Bob's still there?
It is, but
Really? Yeah.
I was out at a nice restaurant this weekend, and I saw the line for the Bob, and I would have been the oldest person there by about 20 years. So I don't think
Okay.
I don't think that's the vibe for the 35 plus crowd.
Bob is big old building, by the way, in Grand Rapids. If you ever get there, it's an amazing place. There's a ton of different floors and yeah, pretty cool. Let's see. All right, we're coming at the end of the hour. Last question. What are you using for AI tools? Is it just HeyGen and then ChatGPT, or is there anything else you're using?
Yeah, those are probably the bigger ones. Scott, you and I talked right before we started recording today. Using AI to just shortcut some of your videos, I think has been pretty big. I think a lot of people, when they think about posting more reels on social media, they get bogged down when they think about like resizing the video for every platform and adding captions and just doing all of that stuff. And so one little tip that I think everyone on here can afford, I started using a podcasting software called Riverside about 4 years ago, before they even had a ton of AI. But what I noticed was like I could just record videos of me talking or me talking to a guest, and then I can then highlight over the transcript and like highlight the sentences that I want exported as a video. So if like as I'm recording, I click like a little marker if I know I said something good, and then I can go back to that marker, highlight it, and click export, and it'll export it as a video file. And then I can choose like, do I want both of us in the video? Do I just want one of us? Do I want it like vertical? Do I want it horizontal? And then I can say, do I want captions added? And then do I want it for YouTube, Instagram, whatever else? It does all of that for me. And honestly, takes about 3 to 4 minutes. So it's like AI functionality embedded in another system. I would probably tell you that like 90% of the AI that I use is AI that exists within a platform that I already use versus like me using AI to start a project.
Cool. And then you said Opus too, right?
Riverside. Yep, Opus. Yeah, I'll use Opus more for like when I have like a large video file and I kind of wanted to just see what it comes up with for clipping out some stuff, and then obviously adding captions and all that stuff.
Very cool. Very cool. Matt, dude, unbelievable. The 3x3 is by far the coolest strategy that I've heard maybe ever, and the easiest to implement. Costs zero money.
Zero money.
Zero money, yeah. And it keeps you top of mind, visible. It keeps you in the loop. Even if people aren't looking, maybe they're thinking of looking, like you kind of change because you weren't looking and then you end up building, right? So pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Excellent, Matt. Thank you so much.
Hey, Scotty.
Yeah.
Got a question for Matt. This is your old buddy, Rick Koenig. Did you guys talk about that you might have actually worked together for a couple of years?
We did.
Oh, yeah, I was late getting on.
Yeah.
Well, man, I'll tell you what. I've watched this guy's career go. I've watched him from when he started with Kevin and Brendan and at Treadstone and AmeriFirst, and just watched this guy grow over the last, gosh, I don't know, what has it been, about 13, 14 years you've been with the guys?
At least.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Matt's an amazing young guy. I wish I would have been on to give you those props at the beginning, but one of my favorite young guys in marketing in the industry besides my son.
Thanks, Rick. I miss you, man. Anyone that wants, so I have a podcast. It's called The Neighborhood Realtor. We interview a top producing realtor every 2 weeks. If you need content to give to your realtors to light a fire under their ass and tell them what to do, it's a good one. We typically, or if you have a guest you want to refer to me that you think I should interview, anyone in the US or Canada, I'll take 20 to 100 million in production is usually what we're going for. And honestly, most of the stuff that I share with you guys or that I learn is something that I learned from a realtor. And honestly, the reason I do the podcast is to learn new ideas from around the country. So
that's the best part about this show, learning stuff from you, like that are masters at it. So you're a genius, man. You've always had that knack for finding the best of the best. So thank you for being here, man. I appreciate your time today.
Anytime, guys. Thank you. Great morning.
Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you same time, same place Monday. Have an amazing weekend. Be safe. Take action. Talk to your agents call all your agents today about the 3x3. Share it with them, talk with them, set up a Zoom call. Amazing strategy that if they don't, like Matt said, if they don't have a deal in 30 days by doing 200, so they just didn't do it. So take care, everybody. See you Monday.